It was a regular Monday morning, and Eva sat at her desk daydreaming during the quiet moments before class began. Mr. Harris, her math teacher, had stepped out of the room to speak with another teacher, leaving his desk empty for just a few moments. Eva, ever the prankster, saw an opportunity. She had found a whoopee cushion in her bag and decided to place it under Mr. Harris's chair. She couldn't help but grin as she quickly slid the cushion into place and returned to her seat. The moment Mr. Harris came back into the room and sat down, the sound of the whoopee cushion filled the quiet classroom. Eva's classmates burst into laughter, but Mr. Harris's expression remained completely neutral. Eva felt a rush of excitement, but it didn't last long. She had expected Mr. Harris to laugh along, maybe even scold her playfully, but instead there was an eerie stillness in the air. Mr. Harris stood up quietly, his face showing no emotion. He didn't shout or scold. He simply walked to the front of the room, closed the door softly, and then returned to Eva's desk. His calm demeanor made Eva's heart race. The teacher motioned for Eva to stand and follow him out of the room. A deep sense of dread washed over Eva. She had crossed a line, and she knew it. Mr. Harris led Eva down the hall to the principal's office. Eva's stomach churned. She had never been in this situation before. When they entered the principal's office, Mr. Matthews, the principal, looked up from his desk. His gaze was firm, but not angry. He simply nodded at Mr. Harris, who briefly explained what had happened. Eva felt a sinking feeling. Mr. Matthews just stood and walked to the back of his office. Eva's heart raced as she watched him retrieve a wooden cane from a shelf. She had never thought it would be used on her. She felt the weight of the moment as Mr. Matthews turned to face her. "Eva," he said quietly, "pranks are fine when they are harmless, but what you did today was disrespectful. You embarrassed Mr. Harris in front of the class, and that is not something that will be taken lightly. You need to understand the seriousness of what you did." Eva didn't say a word. She couldn't. The reality of the situation was sinking in. Mr. Matthews motioned for Eva to bend over the desk. Her hands trembled as she did, and she could feel her face burn with embarrassment. She had never felt so humiliated in her life. But Mr. Matthews didn't give her lesson with cane. "Here's what I'm going to have you do," Mr. Matthews continued. "For the next week, I want you to write an essay. Not just any essay, but one in which you reflect on respect, what it means, why it's important, and how your actions affect others. I want you to think about how you would feel if someone did the same thing to you. I expect you to write a thorough, thoughtful piece, and I want you to focus on the lesson you've learned from this." Eva's stomach turned as Mr. Matthews spoke. She had expected something more immediate, maybe a harsh punishment, but instead, she had been given something far more challenging, the opportunity to truly reflect on her actions. Mr. Matthews went on, "Additionally, you will apologize to Mr. Harris. Not just a simple sorry, but a sincere apology that shows you understand how your actions affected him. I want you to write a formal apology letter, and you will give it to him personally." Eva's face flushed with embarrassment. She had never been one to back down from a challenge, but this wasn't just about writing. It was about confronting the truth of her actions. She would have to face the full impact of her prank, and that felt harder than any physical punishment could have. Over the next few days, Eva worked diligently on her essay. She spent hours thinking about respect, how easily it could be lost, and how little thought she had given to how her actions affected others. As she wrote, she thought about the moments of kindness Mr. Harris had shown her in the past, and how she had taken those for granted. She realized that it wasn't just about the prank, it was about trust, about understanding the responsibility she had when interacting with others.